Today we are looking at the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. Man, that is a mouthful. A smartwatch that uses WearOS. Now, this is an Android smartwatch with tons and tons of features with a starting price point right now of $299.99. But on Amazon, there's actually a $45 coupon. So at $255, this is a solid deal for one of the best premium smartwatches on the market right now. Let's take a quick look at the packaging and what we get inside of the box. And if you guys are new here, hit that like button, give me a sub, and hit that bell notification to stay up to date with every time I drop a video. Now, if we take a look at the actual packaging here, the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS, WearOS by Google, a picture of the watch on the front of the box here, and on the back it does give us a little bit more info about the specs on here, so we can take a look at this really quick, but we're going to talk about it more as we get further along in the video. So the Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear 4100 platform is our processor, military standard 810G testing, so a very durable watch. Battery life on this watch is fantastic, especially compared to the other watches on the market. Up to 72 hours of battery life in smart mode and 45 days in essential mode. Now, I've been getting about 2.5 to 3 days of battery life on this watch. A bunch of workout modes. A very health conscious watch here with tons and tons of features and apps if you are into working out and just overall trying to stay healthy. IP68 waterproof, so feel free to swim or shower, get it wet, whatever you got to do. If you get water in it, you can purge that water with just a tap of a button. Of course, Google Assistant is on here, built-in GPS, fatigue assessment, sleep tracking, a bunch of features on here. Now, the one great thing about this watch is the dual display with the customized colorful backlit, which you can change the colors to customize it. Very cool feature and a standout feature on this watch compared to some of the other watches. High density heart rate, so heart rate monitor on here, stress and sleep tracking. The Google Play Store, you can put apps on here, a bunch of different watch faces. Very cool overall. Now, if we take this out of the box, TicWatch, inside of the box, we are going to get the watch. As you can see, that secondary display, I just put it back in here just for the unboxing purpose. And inside of the box, just a user's manual, and then the proprietary charging cable on here. Now, this is one thing I really don't like about this is the charging cable on here. It's 2 pins on here, as you can see here. And I'll show you where that goes on the back of the watch. I wish there was an easier way to charge this up. It's not difficult, it's just not the best. Now on the back of the watch, you can see the pins, and this will just literally connect magnetically, and you'll plug it in on the other end into your outlet, and it will charge up. So it is easy to use. It's just different. I'm not a big fan of this type. Magnet comes off very easy, and it does connect very easy as well. So I'm just being picky, I guess. Now, it does look like a typical smartwatch running WearOS, and that is not really a bad thing, as I've always liked the look of these watches. You can see the secondary display. Again, if you want the OLED display to come on, you just tap it and it will come on. That is the watch face that does come pre-installed on here, but you can change that. Now, coming in at 41 grams, it does have a good and premium feel to it, but it's also not that heavy. Now, unfortunately, it does just come in this black color. So if you wanted a different color, you can't really do that, but you can change the color of the bands. The bands, it's a rubber strap, so feel free to work out and do whatever you want. Again, this is a waterproof watch, and the band on here is built to last. Now, this watch is built for working out. Again, very durable, completely waterproof with the IP68 water and dust resistance. Now, the actual OLED display on here is 1.4 inches, and it is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass. The straps on here are easily removable, and I will show you that. And they're actually easy. If you have nails, they are very easy to remove. I do not have nails, but you can see how easy it is to remove. Now, to put this band back on, simply place that in there. There's a little notch right here if you can get your fingernails in there, and it does go back on very easy. Easier if you do have nails, so you can replace these bands and change it out and get different colors and just customize it really how you want it. Now on the front of the watch, we do have physical buttons, 2 physical buttons to be exact, that look like dials. Now you can turn these, but they do not actually do anything. But a long press and a short press on the dials will allow you to access some of the controls and interact with the watch. The bezel around the display on the front is just, in my opinion, small and looks really, really good, right? Compared to other watches, I do think they did a good job of giving us a bunch of real estate on here for our display. Now, again, the one cool feature is the dual display on here. As you can see, after a few seconds, the secondary display will come on. So we have our AMOLED display right here, and then we have a secondary display that is a backlight FSTN screen that sits on top of our AMOLED display, which allows us to save tons and tons of battery life on this watch. A very, very cool feature. You can see it does come on, and we are able to customize the backlight on the secondary display. You can change it all types of different colors, and I just think it's a really fantastic feature, and I hope this does come to more and more devices because this is very unique. Now you can see, if you look from the top, it's very hard to see. What I've noticed out in sunlight, I need to look at it from a bit of an angle to really be able to see the display. And it doesn't really matter what color I am. I always tend to have to look at it on an angle. But if you're wearing it on your wrist, you are going to look at an angle anyway. And you can see it's kind of the blue shade I have on the backlight. Now, the battery life on here has been fantastic on this device, giving me around 2.5 days to 3 days sometimes easily. And then I'll throw it on the charger and just charge it for a little while. Now we do have 8 gigs of storage and 1 gig of RAM on this watch, more than enough to hold all of your apps and to run everything very, very smoothly when it's paired with the Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear 4100 Plus. It's been a very nice, smooth, and just really well-built watch here. Again, we talked about the military grade rating on here with the STD-810G. So for the most part, you are not going to have to worry about this watch when it comes to durability. Now we are going to take a look at some of the features on this watch, and then we'll take a look at the WearOS app on the watch. So again, the physical buttons on here, the secondary display, say you get a notification or something, you can turn it on inside of the settings to kind of raise to wake the AMOLED display, or you can push this button to do it, or you can double tap on the display. And this is the watch face that does come pre-installed on our watch. Now you can go in, there are a ton of different watch faces, and if you did want to change the watch face, you can just simply touch and hold down and just pick a different watch face just by sliding. Let's do that again, and then you can slide over and just pick a bunch of different faces right from here, or you can go inside of the WearOS app, and the Mobvoi app has a bunch of different watch faces on it as well. Now again, if you swipe down from the top, you are going to be able to access your settings, your airplane mode, your Google Pay, and all of these good features. If you click on settings, display, sound, apps, and notifications, a bunch of features in here. And if we go out of that, if we swipe to the right, you do have access to your Google Assistant, and we can check out the speakers. Google, what is the weather for tomorrow?
Tomorrow in Woodbury, there will be showers with a high of 79 and a low of 69.
So, in my opinion, I do think the speakers are loud enough for a watch. I haven't had any issues with being able to hear anything. Now, if we swipe up, you can see this is going to be how you access your notifications. I did earn 20 heart points today. Again, this is geared for working out. So I did track some of my workout, some of my running today, and it just does a really good job. If you are into fitness, this watch is fantastic. Did mark some of my steps. Now, I'm not sure why it started late. I guess I started the app late to track my fitness because I did exercise a bit more and it didn't pick up everything. But I did complete a 3-minute running trial, which wasn't really 3 minutes. It was longer, but I think I started it too late. Now, good job. You completed all that. You can clear. And this is where you're going to go. You are going to swipe up when you get notifications from your phone. If you get emails, if you get text messages, phone calls, whatever it may be, you swipe up, and that's how you access that. Now, if we swipe to the right, this is going to be your footsteps, and all of your activity. You can keep swiping to the right, and these are widgets. You can add widgets, you can take away some of the widgets, and you could just keep going. You can set events and reminders, fat burn, all kinds of different stuff. Now, if we just click once on this right button, it will bring up a bunch of different apps in here, and this is where it gets it gets to be a lot of fun. So health apps, tick exercises, tick pulse. Again, you want to monitor your heart rate. It will do that. Your oxygen level, and I'll show you that in a second. Zen, tick breath, tick heart, or tick hearing, agenda, tick care, a bunch of different things. You can set your alarm, your calculator, your essential. You can go into essentials and you can switch to essential mode. This is where you would also go in and adjust that secondary display color. Right now I have it set on to a light blue, but you can set it to a bunch of different colors if you really want to, and it will do that. Auto switch by battery level. Just a lot of features on here, guys. Now, on the bottom here, if we just click on this will bring up your settings. Now, you can customize this to do what you want. I basically have this customized to open up the settings tab when I push on that, and that's what I want. But out of the box, it does come with a bunch of health apps. So very cool. And of course, you can just click on this and go back and hit the return. It's basically a return. Now, if we long press on here, you can also bring up your Google Assistant. So short press will bring up your apps, and your long press will bring up your Google Assistant. So very cool. Let's take a look at the WearOS app. Now, again, we did change the secondary display to red, and you can see here it is red. So very cool. That's what it will look like. Again, you can customize it and change it to different colors. Now, the WearOS app, this is what it will look like once you are connected. Very simple connection process. Very easy. It only takes a few seconds. Once you power on the watch, open up the WearOS app, and it will pair pretty much right away. It does give you the battery percentage that is left. TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra, these three buttons on here. You can disconnect it, and a couple other things you can do in there. Now, your watch faces, a ton of watch faces on here. Again, the one that comes standard is right here, the Vivid, but there is a ton, and you can download a bunch from the Play Store, and you can also go onto the Mobvoi app, which I'll show you in a second, and you can also get some other watch faces on there. Now, in your settings, you do have access to a bunch of different tiles. That is when you swipe over to the right on here, and you can see the tick health, tick watch. You can add different ones, but right now I have these four set up. You can go in and you could add other ones and get those on here as well. So you can see the tiles that I do have. Forecast weather on here. If we swipe to the right, there's the weather, and then the next is our agenda or our next event. And then we also have the tick pulse tile, so you can have access to a bunch of different things that you can customize on here. Now, notifications, you can decide silence phone while wearing your watch or change watch notifications, and you can turn them off, turn them on, and whatever ones you turn off, you won't get the notifications on your watch. It will just strictly stay on your phone. Now, Google Assistant, of course, agenda settings and advanced settings. Now, you're always on display. You can turn that on if you want. Just be aware that will reduce your battery life on the TicWatch. You don't need it because of the secondary display on this watch. Tilt to wake screen, you can do that too. So if you just tilt it, your AMOLED will come on. You have that secondary display that kind of lights up right now if you just want to glance at your watch and look at the time or look at your steps. But if you turn on tilt to wake, that will wake the AMOLED display, and you can do it that way. Auto launch media controls, accounts, privacy, your watch battery, your watch storage, and you can unpair it directly from here. Now, I did mention earlier about the Mobvoi app, so let's find the Mobvoi app in here. Let me go back in here. Mobvoi, there it is. And this is our app. So mental fatigue, I don't have any data set for that. Energy level, 3 hours, exercise 30 minutes, steps today, 4195 steps, 12 minutes, a little off because I did start it a little bit late, my resting heart rate and all of the good stuff. Now, your device, do have a bunch of different options on here. So very cool. A bunch of different things you can do inside of the Mobvoi app. So just look, this thing between the Mobvoi app and between WearOS, I think there are just a ton of good options on here for a really good watch, especially at the price that it is today. Now, one other cool thing, again, this is a waterproof watch. So if you wanted to go swimming and, get the water out of your watch, very simple to do. You can customize it to open up speaker draining. And if you click on that, it's going to drain the water out of your watch. So just a really cool feature. Again, fully waterproof, but if you want to spit out any excess water, get rid of that water, you can do that just by clicking on that, and it will actually shoot the water right out of the watch. Now, again, this watch is very good for somebody that wants to stay healthy and work out. So just to give you a little option here, you can just click on here, go to all your apps. You do have all of these exercise apps like TicOxygen. This will monitor how much oxygen is in your blood and make sure your watch is well secured to your wrist and hold still. And this was a very important feature, especially during the pandemic. Monitoring your blood oxygen level was very important to kind of give you an idea if you were sick or not. So it does a good job, 96% normal. So very cool. Now, some of the other things you can do on here, Tic Pulse, it does give you your heart rate, and it will just measure it, your resting heart rate, and then it will follow along if you are working out, and it will adjust accordingly. So right now, 74 beats per minute with my heart rate, which I am okay with. And a lot of just cool apps on here. But that's it, guys. Just a quick look at the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. I know it's been out for a while, but there's really good competition in this space, and this is a very good option, in my opinion, especially on the Android side of things, and especially at the price point. Again, $299.99 on Amazon with $45 off right now, which is a solid deal for a really good watch. But that's it, guys. Hit that like button, drop a sub. I'll be back soon. Peace.